I've got a question for you. Do you know the difference between a wedding coordinator and a wedding planner? Hello lovely brides and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren, wedding planner and owner of Bluebird Creative. I provide a weekly dose of wedding planning goodness for the stylish bride. So if you haven't already, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and you'll be notified every week when I post a new video. Okay, so do you know the difference between a wedding planner and a wedding coordinator? I'm assuming you're not quite sure because you're still watching this video. So I'm going to debunk the difference between a coordinator and a planner so you can come away from this video and know what they do, what they don't do, and the difference and the similarities for that matter. Okay, so let's break down the differences between a wedding coordinator and a wedding planner. There's a lot of similarities, but there are a lot of differences. And I think the words just get thrown around and people assume that they're the same job. I mean, I've heard wedding planner, on the day management, on the day coordinator, wedding manager, event manager, all used for the same job role. I've just had a coughing fit. The best way to break it down and to simply put it, though, is a wedding planner will help you plan your wedding and a wedding coordinator will help you coordinate it. But let's actually get into it in a little bit more detail, shall we? Okay, let's start with a wedding planner. So a wedding planner will be brought on right at the beginning of your planning journey. So whether that's before you book anything, then you might go straight to a planner and they will help you with every single supplier. You may bring them on once you've booked your venue and you feel like you have a starting point. I get about 50-50 with my brides. Some will book right at the beginning and others will have booked their venue already and then decide, okay, we now need to start planning the wedding properly. I want a professional to come in and help me. Another difference is that the planner will obviously be putting in way more hours than a coordinator because they're being brought on at the beginning. So a wedding planner can actually put in up to 250 hours into one person's wedding. Okay, so just bear that in mind if you are planning your own wedding. It can be up to 250 hours, and obviously a professional planner can cut down their hours slightly because they know what they're doing. So it could end up being even more for you. So make sure you know how to time block and manage your time properly. I digress. A wedding planner will be there to let you know what needs to be done when throughout your wedding planning journey. They'll no doubt be helping with it as well, but they're actually there to remind you when things need to be done and just stick to a planning schedule to make life really easy for you. They will help you with your budget, with how much to spend on what, on just guiding you, making sure you stay on budget, recommending suppliers within your budget, and generally helping you with your payment schedule so that everything gets paid on time. A wedding planner will communicate with all your suppliers right from the outset. So once they've had a consultation with you and you have created your style, theme, and design, which they will help you with as well, then they will be able to recommend the right suppliers that they fit the theme and style and budget of your wedding. They will not make any decisions for you. You will make all the decisions for your wedding, but they will be there to suggest the people that they think will suit you best, which saves you time and potentially costly mistakes because they have vetted everybody that they recommend. So they've already numbered down the amount of people that you might be looking into because they know what's going to work best for you and can recommend you just a handful of suppliers for each different element of your day. They'll also liaise with your suppliers throughout the whole planning process. They won't sign any contracts on your behalf, making sure that everything is running smoothly and dealing with just the general admin between supplier and planner so that you don't have to worry about the small things, and they'll just make sure that you're up to date and in the loop with everything that you need to know and that you're there to make all the big decisions or all the decisions. So as I've just mentioned, a wedding planner will also deal with just the general admin, just the day-to-day admin, replying to emails on your behalf, speaking to suppliers and making sure that everything is ticking along nice and smoothly so that you're not having to deal with just general stuff. Their main point of contact the whole time will be you. Instead of getting a whole load of emails from lots of different suppliers, you can also just summarize everything in one email instead of you being bombarded. Cost is another big difference between a planner and a coordinator. Obviously, with a planner putting up to 250 hours, the cost is going to be considerably more than a coordinator, which we'll go on to in a minute. But that is one of the big differences between the two job roles. Obviously, cost though is reflected on hours, time, experience, and how much is actually being put into the service. A wedding planner will oversee the whole setup and install of your wedding day, and they will also be there on the day to manage and coordinate the whole thing, and they will probably be the first person on site and the last person to leave on the wedding day itself. A wedding planner will also carry on their service until everything else has been completely finalised. So after the wedding day, they will just make sure that all payments are made and that all hireables have been sent back and that everything is finished, and they will be the last supplier to completely sign off with you, making sure that everything is tied up in a nice, beautiful bow after your wedding. A wedding planner will also provide all the services a wedding coordinator provides. So let's move on to the job roles and services that a wedding coordinator provides. So a wedding coordinator is most likely to come on board at around 4 weeks prior to the wedding day. I personally will have a consultation with my on the day clients, and that will usually be about 6 to 8 weeks before the wedding day, but I do not start any work for them until 4 weeks before, and the date that I start the work for them is actually written in my contracts, and it is always 1 month before the wedding day itself. Once your coordinator starts work for you, they will spend time contacting all your suppliers and gathering any information they need to put together the on the day schedule. They might also just want to get any additional information from suppliers that they feel is helpful to make sure the day runs smoothly. They will then put together your on the day schedule and obviously let you vet it before it's signed off and sent to all the suppliers to make sure that everybody is literally singing off the same hymn sheet. Your wedding coordinator will then be there on the day to oversee your install and setup, like we mentioned for a planner, on your wedding day. So they will be there to make sure every detail is just so, everything is running exactly as it should do, all the suppliers have turned up at the right time, and if they haven't, they will be dealing with it for you so that you don't need to stress. A wedding coordinator will then be there throughout the whole day, but they will usually have a set amount of time that they are on site, whereas a wedding planner will be the first on site and the last to leave. A coordinator will usually do about 10 hours on site, and they can stay later at an additional cost, but it is usually a set amount of time. Once a wedding coordinator leaves your wedding and leaves the venue, that means their services have completed. Unlike the planner, who then will make sure everything is tied up for you, a wedding coordinator will leave the venue and their service ends there. The cost of a wedding coordinator is obviously considerably less than a wedding planner because they are only involved 4 weeks before the wedding and for say 10 hours on the day. So it is a lot less time involved in their job, and therefore the price is a lot different to a wedding planner who is probably on board for about a year with up to 250 hours involved. So that's where the difference lies in the cost. It's basically to do with time. So there you have it. There are the differences between a wedding planner and a wedding coordinator. I hope that clears up any confusion between the two and hopefully helps you work out whether you need one of them or the other one. I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't already, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, and don't forget you can always join my Facebook group, Bride Academy, where we've got loads of brides planning their weddings alongside each other. It's a great community with loads of support, so why not come on over, because the doors are currently open.